Hello, folks. This is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on January 10th, 2018. I have 7 strategies with my game, Decoding the Powerball. So, strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, what you're looking at is what I call the game card. This represents all 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage, and the 5 white numbers that just came up were the 12, 29, 30, 33, and 61. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list. And then I take the last 3 drawings of numbers and I transfer it over to the game card as red numbers. Then I do the same thing with orange, green, blue, and purple. I have 5 different colors, one to represent each one of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So for this drawing here, I have 15 red numbers, 15 orange, 12 green, 15 blue, and 12 purple. And these colors change with every single drawing. Okay, so over here to the far right, this 192. This represents how many color code drawings I kept track of so far. And out of this 192, 102 have come up with a 3-color combination. 71 have come up a 4-color combination. 16 have come up a 2-color combination. And only 3 times out of 192 drawings have all 5 colors come up together. And never has it been just 1 color. Okay, so this number right here, this 4, this tells me how many colors just came up in the last drawing. So you can see that there's 2 blue numbers, a green, a purple, and an orange for 4 colors total. Okay, so since hardly ever do all 5 colors come up together, the strategy is try to guess which one of these colors won't be coming up in the drawing and eliminate that color group off of the game card. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm going to guess that no blue numbers will be coming up. Okay, so I think it's going to look like this. Okay, you can see that there's no blue there at all. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing that is because I just look at the history of the drawings and I just see a lot of blue here. Okay, so I just think that it's due to miss. So again, I'm going to eliminate these blue numbers off of the game card. Okay, so to speed things up, I'm going to scroll to the right. Okay, so you can see that I blocked out all the blue numbers. Okay, so when I block out a number like this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so if I'm correct with my pick and none of these blue numbers come up, I'm 1 step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, so how this works is up at the very top is the master for all the numbers. Okay, and over to this far right are the numbers that just came up. Again, it was the 12, 29, 30, 33, and 61. Okay, so this was a 4-group combination. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this down so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're going to see that I have 7 groups here. Okay, so group number 1 holds the numbers of 1 through 9. And then it's the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Again, 7 groups total. Okay, so there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so 2 of these groups won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how this works is this big square right here. This is good for 5 drawings, okay? And I like to break things into 5, mostly because it shows me a majority of things, okay? So what my theory is that if there's a lot of hits in one of these 5 sets of drawings, then probably the next 5 won't have so many hits. Okay, so for this drawing here, Since the 50s have been just so hot lately, okay, I'm just going to guess that it's going to cool down a little bit, and I'm going to guess that no 50 numbers will be coming up in this drawing. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate the 50 numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the game card, and I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far. Again, with no blue numbers from the color code, and now no 50 numbers from the individual numbers. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm betting $3 on a ticket, okay? And I'm betting that none of these 50 numbers will come up in this drawing, okay? And I'm going to parlay that bet with the color code, betting that no blue numbers will come up in the drawing, okay? So if I'm correct with these two picks, then I'm just 2 steps closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 3, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so basically I took all the numbers and I divided it into 4 different groups, and I put colors to that group. Okay, so when the winning Powerball numbers come up, I keep stats of them down here. Okay, so again, the 5 white winning numbers that came up were the 12, 29, 30, 33, and 61. Okay, so as I go back, you can see that the 12 is in the red area, so I put 1 down here in the stats, down here in the red. Okay, and then the 29 and the 30 are over here in the blue, so you can see that I put 2 down here in the blue. Okay, and the 33's in the orange, so you can see that I put 1 in the orange. Okay, and the 61's in the green, so I put 1 in the green. Okay, so when it hits all 4 color groups like that, I call it a row. Okay, so that just helps me look back through the history and see where the rows have come up. Okay, and if one hasn't come up in a while, then maybe it's due to come up. Okay, so now the strategy is, with this group 1 number, is try to guess where the 0 is going to come up. Okay, so you can see with this option card number 2, there was a 0 here in the green area, so none of the 5 white winning Powerballs numbers landed in this green area. Okay, so if I could have guessed correctly that none of the winning Powerball numbers were going to land in this green area, I could have really reduced the numbers and gave myself a better chance at picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so that's the whole strategy, is try to guess where these groups won't be coming up. Okay, so I have 15 of these option cards. Okay, so I created 15 of these to give me more options to guess where these zeros are going to come up. Okay, so my first guess is going to be right here, option card number 2, no red numbers. Okay, so the reason why is because I hit 12 drawings in a row. Okay, and I just think that a lot of these red are going to miss. Okay, so what I mean by that is, again, I have 15 of these option cards, and they all look the same as far as red, blue, orange, green. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other. Okay, so again, I'm going to guess that no red numbers will be coming up in option card number 2. So I'm going to eliminate those numbers off of the game card. Okay, so you can see that I eliminated all those numbers. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here, okay, is I'm keeping track of groups of numbers and trying to guess whether they're going to come up or not in the lottery. Okay, so how this works is, you can see here in this option card number 2, the 65 shares the square with the 25. Okay, so what that means is that if I don't think any of these red numbers are going to come up, I'm going to eliminate the 25 and the 65 as a group. Okay, so this is my way of getting all these numbers together in 64 squares, so it's nice and even. Okay, so going back, my next pick is option card number 4, no orange numbers. Okay, so the reason why is because this just hit a record of 33 drawings in a row. Okay, so I just think that it's going to miss right here. Okay, I think there's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these orange numbers off of the game card. Okay, so this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so the reason why I'd like to show you step by step of what numbers I'm going to eliminate is that when the actual 5 winning numbers do come up, you could go back through this and you could say, okay, well, this is where it kind of messed up. Okay, he shouldn't have taken that group, you know, or whatnot. Okay, so I'd like to show you step by step on how I use my game. Okay, so back to group 1. My next pick is going to be option card number 7, no green numbers. Okay, so the reason why I'm taking this one is because this green had 27 hits in a row, consecutive drawings in a row. Okay, so I just think that it's going to have a short one right here. Okay, so you can see that this was really long, and then I had a really long one here with 18 and now 22. Okay, so I just think that it's due to have a couple of short ones in a row here. Okay, so I'm going to guess that there's going to be a 0 right here, and I'm going to eliminate these green numbers off of the game card. Okay, so this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so I'm going to go back for one more pick. Okay, option card number 12, no red numbers. Okay, so the reason why I'm taking this one is because I just think that this is going to double up right here. Okay, as it did right down here. Okay, so as I go back through here, I can see that it didn't double up all that much. Okay, and another thing that I see is that it hasn't tripled up yet. Okay, you can see that over here, this one had 4 zeros in a row. Okay, and a lot of these have, here's 4 and here's 3 here. Okay, so this one over here, this red, has never had 3 zeros in a row. Okay, so I'm just going to guess that this is due to happen. Okay, so I think that this is going to be a 0 here, and I think the one after it's going to be a 0 as well. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate these red numbers off of the game card. Okay, so this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so I'm all done picking from group 1. So now it's off to the next strategy. Strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. Okay, so much like group 1 where I divided things into 4 different groups, here I divided things into 8 different groups. Okay, so again, there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so 3 of these groups won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how this works is I'm going to point out this red area here. Okay, so down here's the stats for the red area. So you can see this 0 means that none of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers landed in that red area. And of course, this 2 means that 2 out of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers landed in that red area. Okay, so I like to keep track of every 5 drawings. Okay, so it shows me a majority of things. Okay, so if there's 3 or more zeros, I color this blue for cold. If there's 3 or more hits, I color it red for hot. Okay, so I could go back through the history. Okay, and if I see something that's very, very hot, well, eventually it's going to turn cold and vice versa. Okay, so for this drawing here, my first guess is going to be option card number 3. And I have 15 of these option cards as well. Okay, just so I can have as many options as possible. Okay, so I'm going to guess that this one right here, the red numbers, okay, this is the stats for the red numbers. Okay, so as I look through things, you can see that it got very, very hot, and now I think it's going to cool off. So I think there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate these red numbers off of the game card. Okay, so this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so if I made all the correct picks, the 5 white winning Powerball numbers should be still one of these colored numbers on the board. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2, and my next pick is option card number 4, no yellow numbers. Okay, so here's number 4, and here's the stats for the yellow. So as I go back through, you can see that it's been pretty hot all the way through the history of its life here. So I think that this is going to be a 0 right here. And I'm going to eliminate these yellow numbers off of the game card. Okay, so this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2. And my next pick is option card number 8. No red numbers. Okay, so here's the stats for the red. Okay, and going back through, you can see that it's been pretty hot its whole life here. Okay, so I think there's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these red numbers off of the game card. Okay, so this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2 for one more. Option card number 10, no gray numbers. Okay, so here's the stats for the gray. And as you look through it, you can see that it's been pretty hot its whole life. So I think there's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these gray numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm all done picking from group 2. All right, so I started off with 69 white ball numbers. Okay, so now I'm down to 1, and 3 is 4, 2 is 6, and 2 is 8. Okay, so I'm down to 8 numbers, and if I made all the correct picks, the 5 white winning Powerball numbers should land within these 8 numbers here. Okay, so now I just got to pinpoint what 5 numbers are going to come up. Okay. And to help me do that, I'm going to go to my next strategy. Strategy number 5, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks. Okay, so again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so there's going to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. Okay, so I like to keep track of that stuff and try to guess what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing. Okay, so this 236, this represents how many drawings I kept track of so far. And this is since October 7th, 2015. That's when the Powerball lottery went from 59 numbers to 69 numbers. Okay, so out of this 236 drawings, 116 have been the majority of odd numbers. 120 have been the majority of even numbers. Okay, so over here, you can see the high and low of things here. Okay, so for the high, it's the exact same thing, 116 and 120. Now you also have left and right, and you can see that the left is 117 and the right's 119. And then I have this red and blue, where you can see that the red is really dominant of 135 to 101. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm going to guess that there's going to be more even numbers than odd numbers, okay? And I think there's going to be more low numbers than high numbers. And here, I think there's going to be more numbers to the right side than the left side. And for the red and blue, I think there's going to be more in this blue area than this red area, okay? So one last thing I want to show you is this is what I have for the Powerball itself, okay? And this is that red number right here, okay? I do have something for it. Okay, so in this column right here, a blue number means that it's low, 1 to 13. Okay, so there's only 26 numbers total. Okay, so again, blue means low, 1 to 13. And a red number means that it's high, 14 to 26. Okay, and in this column here, a red number means that it's odds, and a blue means that it's evens. Okay, so just looking at things here, I think that this is going to be red. So I think that the Powerball number will be odds, okay? And I also think that this will be red as well, so I think it's going to be a high odd number. Okay, so as I go back to the game card, okay, so you can see for the 50-50 picks, again, I think the majority of the numbers will be evens. I think the majority will be to the low side than the high side. I think the majority will be to the right side than the left side. And I think the majority will be to this blue area than the red area. Okay, so off to the next strategy. Okay, picking the numbers I hope will hit from groups 1 and 2. Okay, so I'm just going to stick with group 2 here. Okay, so I think there's going to be lots of hits in the blue area in group 2. Okay, and what I mean by that is, again, I have 15 of these option cards, and they all look the same as far as red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. Okay, it's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different for each card. Okay, so I have 15 of these blue numbers here. Okay, so I like to keep track of that as a group. Okay, so I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so by keeping track of it as a group, I could try to predict what's going to hit and miss as a group. Okay, so this is where I keep that information. Okay, so you can see that this is the red area right here, and you can see that the last drawing had 10 hits, 5 misses. Okay, for a combination of that equals 15. Okay, so the magic number here is 8. Okay, so if there's 8 or more hits within these 15 option cards, I color it red for hot. If there's 8 or more misses, I color it blue for cold. Okay, so you can see that this blue area had a bunch of cold to it. Okay, so I just think that this next drawing is going to be red up here, which means that I think there's going to be a lot of hits to it. Okay, within these 15 option cards. Okay, so as I go back here, what I do is that option card number 1, you can see that the blue area is 2 to the 68. Okay, so on the game card, here's the 2 and here's the 68, and you can see that there's no numbers here, so I put a 0 to it. Okay, so my next option card is option card number 2. Okay, and you can see the blue numbers here from 9 to 16. Okay, so here at the game card, you can see here's the 9 and here's the 16, and the only one left is the 13, so I put that right here. Okay, so I did that with all 15 option cards, and these are the numbers that came up. Okay, so, and now I'm off to my next strategy. Strategy number 7, picking my numbers. Okay, so the numbers I'm going to go with for this drawing are the 7, 13, 24, 36, and 40. Okay, so with that combination, that's going to give me 8 hits, 7 misses within that blue section. Okay, so again, I think that this is going to be an 8 right here and a 7 right next to it. Okay, so again, the numbers I'm going with is 7, 13, 24, 36, and 40. Okay, so you can see that I thought there was going to be more even numbers than odd numbers, so you can see the 24, 36, and 40 will make that. Okay, and then I thought there was going to be more to the low side than the high side, so you can see that the 7, 13, and 24 are more to the low area than the high area. Okay, and I thought there was going to be more to the right side, so you can see the 7, 13, 24, and 40 equals 4 to the right side. And I thought there was going to be the majority to the blue area than the red area. So you can see that the 7, 13, 24, and 36 have the majority to that blue area. Okay, so that's how I use my game, okay, to pick my numbers, and we'll see what happens. Again, the numbers I'm going with is 7, 13, 24, 36, and 40. Okay, folks, I appreciate you watching. Okay, so if you're interested in getting my game, You can go to my website at www.patreon.com/decoding the Powerball. Or if you like, you can email me personally at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Again, that's decodingpowerball@gmail.com. All right, folks, again, I appreciate you watching, and best of luck with your picks.